Hi, I'm Brandon Baker. I'm going to be speaking to you about the effects and benefits of pet adoption. Before I get started, I'd like to ask the audience 3 questions. Can anyone tell me how many animal shelters they think there is across the United States currently? Any guesses?
1,000.
1,000? Okay. How many animals, cats and dogs, do you think are euthanized in shelters across the United States today? Any guesses?
3 to 6 million.
1,000? Okay. And how many cats and dogs do you think are reunited with their owners through the help of animal shelters? Any guesses?
0.
I'm sure most people don't know. 0? Exactly. Okay.
There's some.
All right, some? Okay. Well, I'm going to answer those questions and much more during this presentation. Okay, some general facts. Currently, there's 6 to 8 million animals in shelters today. Of that 6 to 8 million, 3 to 4 million will be euthanized per year. 3 to 4 million will be adopted. And of that 3 to 4 million, only 30% actually get back with their actual families, and that's dog-wise. Only 2 to 5% actually, as far as cats, actually go back with their families. Now, most people don't know that 25% of the dogs at animal shelters are purebred, and about 40% are kittens and puppies. So let's see why pets end up in animal shelters. There's a range of reasons. The big ones are divorce, moving, cost of pet maintenance, too many animals in a household, inadequate facilities, landlord doesn't allow pets, or just the owner just doesn't have time for pets. Now, there's many myths associated with pet adoption and pet rescue, and these are the ones above. You can't find an adoptable kitten or puppy at an animal shelter. Not true. They don't carry purebred dogs. Not true either. Shelter dogs and cats are untrainable, and they can be kind of mean. They're also more aggressive, and they don't bond with their new owners. Now, everything on the screen is pretty much the opposite of what people think. Actually, shelter animals bond more with their new owner because they want to feel more loved and more wanted. They've never really kind of felt that acceptance, so when they get adopted by new families, they actually tend to make better pets than if you were to go out and buy a cat or dog from a breeder. Now, the benefits of pet adoption for the owner, for the actual individual that's adopting them, is that actual pet owners live 7 years longer. They actually live a healthier, happier life. They have lower stress levels, lower cholesterol, and they tend to be less lonely and less depressed. Now, one fact I thought was pretty neat was that most children that have a house or a pet in the household actually have more self-confidence and more self-esteem. And elderly people tend to go to the doctors and the hospitals less when they have a pet in the household as well. Now, the cost associated with purchasing a dog, this is with a dog, not with a cat. Who would here has purchased a purebred dog? Anyone? Okay, it can be expensive, correct? Very. Okay, so I've broken down, like I said, this is a price for a dog, not a cat. Now, if you look at the pet adoption price, it's a standard fee, $200 to $350. Now, if you're purchasing a $200 dog through pet adoption, that includes vaccinations, a microchip, and includes the dog to be spayed or neutered. Now, if you are purchasing a $200 dog, you're typically getting an older dog or not a purebred. Now, if it's a $350 dog, it's typically a purebred and it's a puppy. Now, if you look at the cost for non-pet adoption through a breeder, the cost can range from 0 for free if it's not purebred, $500 for more if it's a purebred. If not, it could be a lot more than that. The microchip cost is about $100. The neutering cost and spay cost would be $125, if not up to $225 for a female. And the vaccination cost could run you about $100. So you can see it's a lot more cost efficient to adopt a pet than it is to purchase one through a breeder. Now, the benefits of pet adoption for the pet are as follows. Pets that are adopted typically feel more loved, more nurtured, and more wanted. They actually make more pets, better pets, and they just seem to get along better with the family than ones that are not from breeders. So, ways to adopt pets. There's several ways. You can go to your local animal shelter. Typically, every city has an animal shelter. If not, there's several throughout the county. You can also go online. There's thousands of websites dedicated to rescuing pets and pet adoption. You can go online, you can find the breed you want, the size, the gender, the color, and it'll break it down to if they live close to you, if they're adoptable or not. And you could also go to pet stores. You go to Petco, you go to PetSmart, and there's several companies that team with Petco and PetSmart to display dogs that are adoptable and cats in your area. A success story, and it kind of sad on you guys here. I actually adopted a pet dog about 2 years ago. So my wife and I were at the store, we went to Petco, and we were actually getting dog food for our dog we had at the time. And we always talked about getting a friend for him. And we never thought about adopting a dog. We always thought they're aggressive, they're a little different, they're distant, they're not going to bond with you. Well, when we were there at Petco, we came across a rescue agency called Save a Small Dog Rescue. I thought it was kind of corny at first. I walked out and started playing with this dog here on the screen, which I ended up buying later, called Bailey. And he just was super nice, super sweet. Went and talked to the owner and said I would like to purchase him. And she said, well, the cost is going to be $350, comes with the chip, he's has all his shots, and he's neutered. So I went and I wanted to purchase him, but then I had to go through an adoption process. Not very lengthy, not the same as obviously adopting a child, but she actually went to my home, looked at my home, made sure it was fit, yeah, crazy, huh? Went to my home, met my dog that I currently have to see if they would get along, and asked us a plethora of questions. What time do you guys work? What time do you guys get back? What's your temperament? How long have you been married? What do you believe in divorce? It got a little crazy, actually, at first. But when it was all said and done, we actually adopted him. Best dog we've ever owned. Loving, sweet, very loyal. And I would just recommend anyone out there that's thinking about getting a pet, go through pet adoption. It's very easy, it makes sense, and it's a great way to keep dogs off the street and not get them killed. So that's it. Any questions?